I'm Ashley Twombley, and I'm a bisexual.
Hi, I'm Lily Flexig, and I identify as bisexual and non-binary.
I identify as gay.
I first discovered that I was bisexual when I was about 14. It was my freshman year in high school. I was in marching band, and the entire drum line was a bunch of lesbians, and I thought they were absolutely beautiful. We ended up hanging out, and that's when I figured out that I was definitely not just into dudes. I don't think I ever officially came out to my dad, but as far as my mom goes, she was actually one of the sponsors for the band. So she followed all of us around, just made sure everything was cool, I guess a chaperone type of thing. And I was sitting next to one of the girls from the drum line, and she came over to me and I was like, I have to tell you something. She's like, what, are you gay? And I was like, actually, yeah. And she laughed and I laughed and we walked away. And I know, it was cool. My mom was super cool about it.
I was 14 years old when I first came out. But I did come out, I think, to my family, my mom and my dad, before anyone. My mom was mostly okay with me coming out. She herself is, not necessarily straight all the way. So she was very accepting and kind of just didn't really care. My dad was pretty upset, and I would say more so confused. And he really wanted to know if I should be allowed to have girls over or boys over or whoever, because he didn't know what the rules should be.
Better than I thought they would, because you hear so much talk how religious parents, they don't really like the whole LGBT community. They say it's a sin, it's against God and the Bible, and my mom's a minister, so I figured it was going to be the same way, so that's why I was scared. But when I told my mom first, she wasn't upset, she was just more surprised. So that was her emotions. She known me her whole life because I'm her son, so she didn't know something big like that. But I think my dad took it better. He accepted it more, which is surprising, really surprising, because I thought he was homophobic. But I don't really have any advice, but at the same time, it really depends on people, the way of life, and where they live and where they come from, because I know other people don't have that supportive influence in their life. They could come out, they could get kicked out their house, they could get beaten, or they could even go on to commit suicide because they would just be rejected. So I wouldn't want to rush people to come out, because that's something that they get to do on their own terms, on their own choice. That's literally the one thing that they get in life, to be able to make that decision, and who knows. So I wouldn't push to come out, or I wouldn't say don't come out at all. It's really depending on them and how they feel. And I wouldn't think people to be afraid about it, because the world, as we can see now from stuff we see on movies and TV shows and on Twitter, on social media, a lot of people are coming out and the world's being more accepting, from at least what I see. So I could be biased. I don't really know the hateful side of it or the bad side, but I think now would be the best time for people to come out at their own terms, of course, but it's a good day for us.
I think for parents who are having a rough time accepting it for whatever reason, whether it be religious or, just because of the world that we live in, I think that a big reason is that you don't really know anything about us. And if you knew anything about us, you would feel differently. If you knew anything about the community and the way that we act and the way that we are such a strong group of people who will constantly fight for what we believe is right and what we believe is good, it's hard to not look at that and think, oh, that's an amazing thing. And so I think just doing some research and looking into specific instances in the community of truly resilient, amazing things, it'll be a lot easier for you to accept that your child isn't choosing to be like this,
Come out whenever you're ready. Just whenever you're ready. There's no one rushing you. There's no one pushing you. You can just do what makes you happy. Just make sure you're comfortable in your own skin.